My name is Julius Malema. Oh, okay.
Okay, kids, it's really a pleasure and an honor and a privilege to welcome Mr. Malema in our midst. He flies all around the country. He was in PE yesterday and here he is with U15. Thank you, sir, for coming. We appreciate it very much, and I'm sure they will engage with you as you will engage with them. Enjoy the morning with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm a president of the Economic Freedom Fighters and a member of Parliament. I'm very pleased to meet all of you and had an opportunity to share some words with you, and I hope that I'm going to learn something from many of you here, because we have a responsibility as people to learn from each other. We can use your experiences to better ourselves. Many of our leaders, as you know, come from a very humble beginning, and there is no leader who can tell us of a story that he or she comes from a well-off family and used the family wealth to become what he became or she became in society. So many of them, by virtue of coming from humble beginnings, they took a conscious decision to become better people in society and use their contribution to change society for the better. And the majority of them confronted very difficult situations, and they only had two options: to give up or to chase their dream. So when you are young, you always have a dream. And once you have a dream, it means you have made an appointment with that dream. And you can't fail to meet or to make it to that appointment. So you want to be a policeman, a soldier, a politician, whatever the dream may be. All of those become very positive dreams at the beginning, especially when you are still young. There's no one who can say to us, I've had a dream of just becoming a reckless person in society and all those type of things. Despite the fact that some of us come from areas where there was high levels of poverty and very few individuals who were educated and very few individuals we looked up to as role models. We didn't have neighbors who were doctors or successful. The only thing we saw was poverty. But even when we saw that poverty, we knew that we want to make a better future for ourselves, our families, and our society. So we took a decision to then start behaving in a particular way so that we can make it to the appointment with the future. So as you chase that dream, you begin to have setbacks, and sometimes you don't succeed, you fail in the process, and you become hopeless, like it looks like I'm chasing the impossible dream. And because of that, you give up on life and you do not care. I mean, even when people make time to come and make you feel good about yourself and revive the potential in you, you still think, they are doing it for money, they are doing it for fame, they're using us to try and become better people. Because you never think positive about yourself. And you begin to suffer from self-hate. And you think because you hate yourself, all of us are like you. When we speak to you, no, they are just wasting time. This thing is not possible. There's nothing they're telling me which will ever happen. So you must first begin by just loving yourself, because loving yourself will then make you to love everybody else who seek to help you. And because you love these people who want to help you, you will never want to disappoint first yourself, because you love yourself, but also you don't want to disappoint the people you love. But you'll never love anyone if you hate yourself. So it starts with you. You must do away with self-hate. Self-hate is when you don't have confidence on yourself that I cannot do some of these things. So it is important that we first love ourselves. And the failure in life doesn't mean that it is the end. You actually stand another chance, because you had an opportunity to be exposed to these things before. You couldn't succeed, and then you are given another chance to be exposed to them for the second time. So the only option, because you're seeing this for the second time, the only option you have is to be the best of the best. Now, all problems that we are confronted with in society can be a problem of poverty, a problem of inequality, a problem of unemployment, all of it. It can only be resolved by education. All of it. The sustainability of political freedom and economic freedom has to do with education, because education liberates the mind. And once the mind is liberated, it can achieve anything. So we have to love education and thrive to be the best academically. Some of us, when we grew up, we never had people who were available to encourage us to go to school. And we came to realize later that, you know, the only asset which people will never take from you, it's your qualifications. You can be rich, have all the cars, have beautiful houses and all that, but one day you can wake up with all those things not being there. But your qualifications will always be there. Even if your house has burned down and burned your certificate, that qualification is still there. Not even a natural cause can do away with your qualification. That's the best thing you have. Your wife can leave you, your kids will grow up, get married, leave you, but your qualification will never leave you. And when you are older and telling people about your qualifications and what you did when you were young, the types of qualifications you have acquired when you were young, it becomes a very good story to tell. You are forever proud of that. But if you do not have that qualification, if you have not succeeded academically, every time a topic that relates to education pops up, you feel very small to actually make a contribution to such a discussion. And today's issues have got to do with education. You can Google and get the information there, but if you are not educated, you'll never have the ability to interpret what you have Googled. And you're going to be spreading junk, and half the time you're going to be corrected that no, it's not like that. That's not what it means. But if you've got the basic foundation of education, you are able to engage on any subject matter, including those issues that people think are complex. You are able to break them down, and always you feel very good about yourself. So it's important that we must get the young ones to be educated. You must not be like the older generation which says, I didn't have time to go to school, my parents didn't have money to go to school and all that. All the hungry people, hungry for education, today there are a lot of opportunities for such people. There are a lot of opportunities for you to be registered, for you to be assisted to become the best in society. Troubles that we're confronted with in South Africa will only be resolved by an educated society. The Americans, the reason why they are not only excelling economically, but they are excelling in all respect, is because they've got an educated society. No one will engage in corruption and not be exposed because the society is educated. My grandmother was saying to me, but I don't understand why you are busy pursuing Zuma and his house in Nkandla, because there's nothing wrong he has done. For every king, the community must build a house for that king, because they don't see anything wrong. Why? It has got to do with their levels of exposure. So the illnesses in society and the corrupt practices by political elite will never stop for as long as society is illiterate. It will be perpetuated and people will take advantage of the ignorance of society which comes as a result of illiteracy.